Hello and welcome to this relaxing, gentle bedtime yoga sequence. Before we get started, you will want to make sure that you have a pillow handy. You may also want to grab a yoga block if you have one at home. So let's begin in just an easy seated position. So finding a comfortable spot on your sits bones. Bringing your hands just to rest gently in your lap or on your knees. Close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths. With every exhale, imagining the stress of your day, your thoughts flowing out of your body with your breath as you release them to the universe. So take a deep breath in and release something with your exhale. Breath in, let it go. Continuing to lengthen your breath, letting go of the thoughts in your mind as you just come to simply exist here and now in this moment. You have an option to stay here if you'd like, or you can release your spine a little bit by gently walking your fingertips over to one side of your body. So just coming into a gentle twist through the spine. Continuing to breathe as you twist, finding just a nice stretch, something that's comfortable, nothing too harsh. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, walk your fingers back through center and then over to the other side. And again, finding a nice comfortable stretch. Letting go of any comparisons that might pop up into your head about one side being different than the other. Just experience the sensation. Take one more inhale. And carefully walk your hands back center on your exhale. Gently making your way to standing, coming into a forward fold. Having the option to let your arms dangle long, or you can come into ragdoll pose, grabbing opposite elbows with opposite hands. Bending your knees as much as you'd like. In fact, you can bend them quite a lot, so much that you're bending your knees until your belly falls on the tops of your thighs. And from here, you have the option to gently sway back and forth, helping to release your back. You have the option to gently shake your head, yes and no. Or maybe gently pressing your head side to side, releasing any tension from your neck. So really feeling and imagining and envisioning the tension from your shoulders and your neck spilling out your forehead. Releasing all of that, releasing your worries. Finding stillness. Release your hands towards the mat if they're not there already, just letting them dangle. Come to a halfway lift on your inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Come to a halfway lift, and then slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll your shoulders on top of your hips. Head is the last thing to rise. And come take a seat. Setting up for bridge pose. If you have a block, you're welcome to come into supported bridge by placing the block under your sacrum. Wherever you're at, walking your feet in towards your heels. And then on an inhale, lift your hips up for bridge pose. So bridge pose is an inversion, just like ragdoll was that you were just in, anything where your hips are higher than your heart. And these inversions have a really nice, relaxing effect on the body. They help the body de-stress. It also helps improve circulation. So just taking full advantage here. And again, you can make this more restorative by placing a block under your hips. But keep breathing. Take one more inhale and carefully lower your hips down to the mat. Exhale. From here, let's work to start to release some of the tension from your hips, which a lot of us carry that in our hips throughout the day. So coming into a reclined figure 4 pose, crossing your left ankle just above your right knee, flexing your feet. You can stay here if you'd like, or if you'd like to intensify the stretch just a little bit, you can grab a hold of the back of your right thigh. So just finding a nice, gentle stretch here. Again, something that feels good, something that makes your body say yes. So don't push yourself too much, but instead just helping yourself release so you can relax. And carefully switch sides. This time crossing your right ankle over your left thigh just above the knee. Feet are flexed. Having the option to pull your knee in closer to your body. Feeling this nice gentle opening through the outside of your right hip this time. Keep breathing. With every exhale, imagine that you are releasing tension out of your hip with your breath. Release the pose, hugging your knees in, and then gently press your way up to a seated position. We're going to work to release through the shoulders and chest just a little bit here with a seated thread the needle pose. So just come to your easy seated position and then walk your fingertips forward. Then keep your right arm long as you thread the left arm through the hole that's created under your right armpit. So be very careful here if you have any shoulder injuries. This pose should feel good, like a nice comfortable stretch. If it's not, then just simply stay in that easy seated position. Taking some nice long breaths here. Feeling the opening through your shoulders and maybe even a little bit through your neck. Carefully make your way back up to center. And then switch sides. This time your left arm stays long as you thread your right arm through the eye of the needle, stretching through your right shoulder this time. And maybe closing your eyes. Just focusing on your breath as your body relaxes and releases. Come back center. So if your hips are very tight, for this next pose, I just want you to stay in the easy seated position and you're simply going to walk your hands forward and you should feel a nice stretch through the hips. If your hips are a little more open, we're going to come into a half lotus with a forward fold. And here you always have an option to place a block or a blanket or a pillow under your knee as well for some extra support. So to begin, place your right foot on top of your left thigh, coming into half lotus on the right. And if this is enough of a stretch, you can actually stay here or again, help support your leg by propping one or both knees with a block or a pillow or blanket. If you'd like to intensify, you can walk your hands forward, coming into a nice stretch here. And again, use your breath, use your mental focus to concentrate on releasing any tension out of your hips. So my very favorite thing here is to visualize the tension coming out of my hips and leaving my body with my exhales. So as the air leaves my body, that tension is leaving my body as well. Continuing to close your eyes and breathe. Carefully walk your hands back up if you folded forward And switch out your legs. Even if you're just in the easy seated position, swap and keep the other leg on top. And then you have the option again to stay seated in half lotus or easy seated position, or you can walk your fingertips forward, intensifying the pose. Again, option here as well to use props, even if you didn't on the other side. Find a stretch that feels good, that feels comfortable. Something that you can relax into, allowing your body to surrender as you breathe. Carefully come back up. Grab your pillow, and we're going to come into child's pose, or even embryo pose is an option with the pillow under your chest. So you can bring either cheek down, or if it's comfortable, you can bring your forehead down to the pillow, but you'll be using the pillow to support your chest. And simply allow yourself to surrender in. You can keep your arms forward for child's pose, or you have the option to reach back for your ankles for embryo pose. Just allowing your hips to open slightly in a different direction. This pose is also very calming, as I'm sure you feel. Gently press your way back up and come to lie on your back, setting up for reclined bound angle pose. So your back is flat against the mat, the soles of your feet come together, knees bend, and then your knees fall out to the sides. So this is also known as reclined butterfly pose. If this feels a little too intense on your hips, you can place a block, a pillow, or a folded blanket underneath your knees for a little bit of extra support. But I'm releasing any tension from your hands, your arms, your shoulders, and then finally feeling the tension and resistance melting out of your hips, through your mat into the ground, letting it all go. Carefully bring your knees back together and hug them into your chest, giving your legs a big hug. And then setting up for a supine twist. So let your right leg go long as you bend your left knee. Arms can come out to a T, but keep your shoulders pressed firmly onto your mat as you allow your left leg to fall over to your right side. You should feel just a nice gentle opening through your spine. Again, not forcing anything here. Just simply allowing your body to open naturally as you breathe deeply. Carefully come back center and switch out your legs. Left leg goes wrong, right leg bends. Shoulders to the mat as you allow your right leg to simply fall over to the left, opening your spine in the other direction. Using your breath to help your body surrender into this pose, releasing just a little bit further, surrendering a little further. Carefully come back center and setting up for final Savasana. You have the option to take your pillow and place it beneath your head and back, which can help your heart open a little bit more, which can feel really great if you spend a lot of time hunched over a desk or over a computer, or just if you have been having some bad posture to begin with. Or you can just come into propless Shavasana on your mat. But wherever you're at, letting your legs fall where they naturally want to go. Maybe they flop open a little bit. Arms come by your sides, hand resting wherever feels best, what feels most natural to you. And then feeling the last bits of tension and resistance melting out of your body, down through your mat, and out and away from you. Clearing your mind for just a final few seconds as you continue to breathe and release. You're welcome to stay here if you'd like, or you can gently bring awareness back to your body, slowly, slowly, so slow that you barely notice. And if you'd like, you can press yourself up to a seated position, bringing your hands heart center. Namaste.